Hey, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Ecosystem Office Hours call. I am, as always, your host, Jinx, and we are joined by the best and brightest in the Pocket ecosystem. I'm going to kick things off with our protocol update this morning, which I'm guessing is going to be Daniel Olshansky, since I don't see Fred in the call. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the first time you ever called me Daniel, so that's kind of fun.
Oh, sorry. Olshansky.
No, it's totally cool. Art's out of office this whole week on vacation with his family, and Fred has a lunch meeting, so you guys are lucky enough to have me today. So I'll kick it off with some Grove updates, protocol, and everything related to the portal and gateway things as well. And the way I'll do it is kind of share some things we're trying to tie the loop, close the loop on, some things that are in flight, and then some things that are a little bit in the earlier stages of development. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Cool. So things that we really, really want to close the loop on, and you guys see me sending messages. I know the whole ecosystem's really helping out. Are session rollovers and WebSockets. So session rollovers, I'm not going to go into the details here, but we can double click on it if you guys want, is the blocker for us to go to all of our customers that are on hold and literally say, we are comfortable with the quality of service. Let's fucking go. We're getting really close. I'm getting a lot of feedback on some things that we're testing and iterating on, and really, really hoping that in the next one, at most 2 to 3 weeks, we'll at least get it to a stopping point. We'll keep iterating later. So that's session rollovers. Number two is WebSockets. We have prototypes in flight, POCs, and we really, really want to get the first WebSocket in production as soon as this or next week. And again, we'll be paying the ecosystem and all the suppliers to make sure that you guys are ready to handle that. Those two things alone will unlock a lot of customers. And I think those are our top two priorities. I will keep going into the other updates and keep it shorter, but we can talk about these two because I think this is what really will unlock the ecosystem. Everything else that we're doing is really focused on portal infrastructure and gateway infrastructure so that if anybody wants to spin up a gateway in the future, they can easily use Path, they can easily mimic what we have with the portal. And then when we start onboarding more gateways, we'll really streamline that piece. Those things are a bit in the earlier stages of development and design. So we'll be sharing more updates on that in the coming weeks and months. That's it for me.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. And also for everyone who's been following on the Gateway side, the IBC tickets are up there as well. So you can subscribe to individual issues if you like to make sure that you're following along on whichever functions or features you're waiting on. I am going to hand it from here to Tracy for our F-Chains update and the validators and anything else that's relevant to that.
Hey, so the validator delegation, I believe Daniel's still working on that. So I'm hoping to, I believe the last update he provided was end of this week or next week to get that properly working. And then I can reach out to each one of the node runners to get the validators, to delegate the foundation's pocket to those validators. F-Chains, yes. I think at the same time, what we'll do is we'll switch those over to Igniter, since they have a dashboard and there's a lot more information that we can get from using Igniter, as far as stats and stuff like that. I think that's it for me. Docs are going really well. I've been meeting with the team that's working on that. We're still pushing that forward. Governance is moving forward as well. Actually, is Mirdad in the call? Yes. He can give you an update as far as when we will be able to get the community involved in reviewing some of those docs. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm guessing maybe next week or the week after. And I think that's it for me. Mirdad, if you want to give a quick update on that.
Mayor Don? If
Or
you're
not.
talking, we can't hear you. No, I saw his mic go off and on. I think he was having some issues with.
Hello.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the docs are almost complete. We decided on a model. So I need a final check with the committee to make sure that we are aligned. I also put together a simulation website that you can play around with the numbers to see how the governance works and what is the breaking points, what are the situations that might happen in the future. But once we are all aligned in the community, I think it's time to move on to the broader community. The last thing that needs to be completed on my end is just to put together the scope for the project and the requirements and deliverables we have. And that's it.
Beautiful. Thanks, sir. We're looking forward to seeing that. Just as a sort of ecosystem update, we are going to be at Korea Blockchain Week next month from the 19th through the 27th. We are looking to meet up with a number of Southeast Asian and Asian projects there, and especially incubators and or other accelerator type programs who fit really well with our incubator gateway model. And that's the kind of adoption that we're looking to drive in a big way from a horizontalization of the network, so to speak. And I think that covers all of the hot immediate stuff. So I'll throw it out there. I did put my comments up on Tracy's thread on the forum, nominating me for Election 2 Director. You are very much encouraged to post whatever you like in response on that thread. But since I'm here and live on the call with the community, if there are things that you would like to ask me directly in relation to that, well, here I am, and here's some good time. Well, I will take that silence as broad approval. I could take it as broad rejection, but it always pays to to take on the brighter side of things. Thanks, Anaski, appreciate it.
I'll say something real quick since it's quiet. I obviously wrote the proposal. I'm very much in favor of Jinx becoming director. I just want to throw in my 2 cents. Prior to me working with the foundation, Jinx has spent just a ton of time in the ecosystem, within the Pocket ecosystem, and pushing things forward. Now that I'm working with the foundation and able to see behind the curtain, he's doing much more work than I anticipated. Everybody should know that he's doing everything he can to make this successful. And I would not want anyone else in that position, considering how much he has done, and as far as his political and everything else that he does for the ecosystem. So just wanted to throw my 2 cents.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it. There's a lot. It's definitely quite a bit. I don't think a lot of people really necessarily understand all of the things that are required to keep a project like this going and how many different directions. I mean, it's a business, and all of the things that are relevant to a business are relevant here. Accounting and financials and strategy and forecasting and, only hitting the numbers go up switch when I think it's appropriate. That's a joke. But and really broadly interfacing with the community at large, which for the last 4 years has been my daily bread and butter, both in the den and in running these meetings. So I know a lot of people, have asked many times in the past, why wasn't I already doing it? Now's the time. I've been doing the work at this point, and it's time to formalize it and to sort of complete our transition into the next generation that comes along with Shannon. So I welcome any and all questions and your feedback. And, I write a lot and I talk a lot about my strategies, but if anybody has other specific questions about my forward view or how I intend to execute on some of these strategies, you're certainly welcome to it.
I'll actually jump in just
Yeah.
with some comments and updates, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, it's been a little while since I've been on a call. So, and I've also been to some conferences and also been doing some writing and many other updates incoming. But what I'll say is, having gone to Stanford Blockchain, Paradigm Frontiers, and the Decentralized AI Summit, is that kind of all the work you're doing on the foundation to make sure that we have liquidity, that we're on a lot of different exchanges and everything else. It's really important fuel and fire to kick off conversations, because regardless of how good the tech is and how good the vision is and how good everything else is, no one really cares if your token isn't liquid or it's not mobile or it's not on as many exchanges as possible. That kind of kicks off the conversation. So thank you for setting that foundation, and you got my full support. That's the first thing I just really wanted to share is a thank you. And just to get everyone a bit excited, it's early here and I'm a bit tired, but the excitement coming out of all these conferences, I can tell you guys just off the top of my head, I spoke to the CT of Chainlink. They're actually interested in using Path so they can access Pocket Network directly. I spoke to like the founders of Osmosis and Eigenlayer and others, and they're very open to using Grove and Pocket by proxy once we get the quality of service in place. There's actually another funny one. Like, I've had so many conversations. I spoke to the founder of Chia and the Lightning Network. They both know Pocket, right? I kind of just mentioned it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, reliable decentralized infrastructure." And I think that goes towards the brand that's been built over the years. And with the Shannon upgrade and with the Path upgrade, we're getting to a point of real stability. And looking at some of the data very recently, I can tell you that one of the reasons we don't want to use fallbacks, the reason we're solving session rollovers, is we're seeing that the network's actually more reliable. So this is the power. It's whenever you see glimpses of not decentralization for decentralization's sake, but because all these people that I talk to at these conferences can get more reliable infrastructure at a better cost, is a constant reminder that as soon as we turn on the marketing and sales gear, we can very easily win. So these are just a few of the things, and it's off the top of my head. I can spend hours talking about it, but there will be a lot more writing and tweeting and everything else about these things. I just wanted to share, let's call it a teaser. It was like a 2 to 5 minute teaser of some of the things top of my mind.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's hard sometimes when people will say, well, you can't just say you're having conversations behind the scenes. But we also can't be irresponsible and say, hey, we talked to this CEO and that CEO, and we have an ongoing conversation now that could very well work towards, a major recognition brand name partnership. You can't say those kinds of things because they're either treated as hype or if it takes too long, according to the, sort of crowd consensus for that to come about, it's, then you didn't deliver or whatever. People are fickle as hell when it comes to that sort of thing. And so we just kind of have to keep working in the background, keep building, keep making those connections, keep working towards things that just flatly take longer than we'd like to. I mean, nobody likes the fact that it takes the amount of time that it does to engineer major solutions. Nobody likes the fact that it takes the amount of time that it does to do business developing and onboarding for major organizations. I have had a number of partnerships in the past that took 6 months to a year to manifest. And the average, investor who's looking at these daily charts with 15-minute candles, they don't have the appetite to hear, well, somewhere between 3 to 9 months, this major thing is going to unlock. So that can be like one of the challenges of being public facing in this way is you have to try to, as best as possible, gracefully communicate that, yes, we are working, yes, we are moving the ball forward, yes, we are pushing towards major initiatives without overpromising, without seeming like you're being on the hype train. You know, it's definitely a delicate balance, but all of the teams that are working on the solutions actively, both, you know, from the protocol side and from the peripheral side, you know, Pocket Scan and Node Fleet and Raid Guild and all of the other teams who are actively contributing DevDAO. All of that work is being done, even if you can't see it. And I honestly, I cannot wait for some of this stuff to drop and for people to see their faith rewarded. So that's a huge thing for me.
Yeah, so that's always a very good way of putting it. What I'll say is this is a very small kind of, this is our ecosystem. And that's why giving you guys an insight into the not off-chain, off-X conversations that happen behind the scenes, for lack of a better word. But it's, I think, you know, whenever we ping you guys, I mean, Jinx just mentioned 5 other teams. I can only speak on behalf of Grove. But whenever we ping you guys saying, hey, can you try this new binary so we can fix session rollovers? It's all in light to get that quality of service because the brand recognition's there. Everyone is waiting for us to deliver as we are delivering. And the moment kind of all the foundational blocks are in place, it's going to be very easy. That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
handoff.
Any other questions about that? I see Crypto Corn is typing. Can we get a quick 2-minute overview of the session rollover issue? What was the root cause of it? Where are we getting it fixed, improved, etc.? Do you have a summary of that, Olshansky?
Yeah, so we still don't know the root cause because there's multiple root causes. And until it's 100% resolved, we can't really say what is the issue. But it spans Grove's infrastructure, path implementation, relay miners, full nodes, light nodes, and everything in between. It's if a relay miner, if a user sends a relay and it can't get a relay in back within a second, something somewhere did not work. Whether it's a caching issue or a business logic issue or a timeout or an IOPS issue or anything else, all of those need to be resolved. And the performance of the relay is only as good as the weakest link. So session rollovers is whatever the weakest link is at that point in time to support the business logic of the protocol. That's as simple as I can keep it on the spot.
And the end result of that is that as the session ends and a new one begins, there are outstanding, unresolved requests that cause issues. Is that right, roughly?
Just
Okay.
give me a moment to formulate an answer there. The end result is that due to sessions where the business logic of Pocket Network takes place, the relay miner and full node infrastructure has to do a lot of processing. Maintaining relay performance while you do all that processing is a non-trivial problem. So if we had no business logic and we just served relays as a centralized provider, we wouldn't have this problem. If we just did business logic without serving real users, we wouldn't have this problem. But because we have heavy on-chain processing and we're serving real users in real time, the two are at odds, and we're looking for a solution that has the right trade-offs in place.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you, sir. Also, just as a side note, a couple of people have asked about it. I've talked about this before, but I want to go on the record again stating it. The price performance incentives that were originally part of PIP 39, I intend to kill. I've talked with the Shannon Oversight Committee or the Rewards Oversight Committee. We are making sure that we are getting the Shannon reward allocations done. That has been completed and is in review with the committee. So we expect that to be rolled out shortly. But as far as the price performance rewards, I just think that there are so many other factors that have nothing to do with individual performance of anyone in the ecosystem, really, that it just doesn't make sense to me to assign specific incentives to individuals around that performance. And it's money from the DAO that's better spent on initiatives that serve the DAO and that serve the protocol. So I am working with the Oversight Committee to determine if that can be a blanket decision by the Oversight Committee, or if that needs DAO approval to rescind those price-based incentives. But I just fully intend to kill them. Other questions, thoughts, topics? Well, I will certainly give y'all your time back if we don't have anything else that we need to cover. Please, as always, feel free to reach out and DM me directly if you like. I do get a lot of DMs, so I'm not always, 3-second response time. You may have to be a little patient, but I am happy to communicate directly as needed, and also jump on calls as needed. So please feel free to reach out in whatever capacity you feel best. But aside from that, I will see y'all again next week, same time, same channel. Thanks, everybody.